All right, so this saga is coming to an end. Um, I'm very happy about that. So let's take a look at what we have left. So we got all this done yesterday. There is no coolant in there, and I was researching, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this compressor, and I just decided that's something for the next owner to do. They got to do something, right? So, I mean, the thing is, I would have changed it, honestly. I found out that Denso is actually the manufacturer of these compressors. Did I say condenser again? I keep saying that, but the AC compressor. And they're only asking 347 for. But if you go to the dealership, the price is literally 1,234. So I said they're just making this stuff up. 1,234, really? So yeah, it's $1,234 if you get it from the Volkswagen dealership. But you just buy it from Rock Auto, you can get a Denso, which is the OE manufacturer anyway, and get it for 347. So it's not really expensive. But the issue is I don't have the recovery machine to get the refrigerant out, and y'all can see it's leaking a lot there. It's leaking from this high line here, and it's just coming out of the compressor itself. So yeah, the AC was working when I parked it in here, but I don't know if it's gonna be working after after this. So that's that. But yeah, if I had the machine to recover it, I probably would replace it. But since I don't, I'm not, and that'll be that. So what we got to do now is just put some little extra bits on the these two things, that piece to the bumper that goes on here, and then that's pretty much it. Just put some coolant in it and fire her up. Now, I'm not going to put the front bumper back on right now, or the little belly pans, because I'm going to go to the junkyard tomorrow to see if I can get another bumper. See if that bumper is intact, because this one's really messed up. And if it is intact, it's a different color, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and I'll get the hood as well, because this hood is a little damaged, as you can see right there. And then I'll just get it painted, because I'd rather spend the money on that than doing the compressor and having to start all over. And then I'll probably get this touched up as well, just the back bumper painted, and then I'm gonna list this bad boy for sale, because I don't like working on it. This is not for me. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with doing the rest of that little stuff, which should probably take 5 minutes. All right, we got the batteries all hooked up, and what we're going to do now is add the coolant, and then we're going to start it up. So the first thing we're going to do is add water. This thing takes 18 quarts of 50-50, and I got full strength. So what I'm going to do first is add a gallon of water, see if there are any leaks or anything. Then after that, I'm going to add some coolant. Really what I'd like to do is add 2 gallons of water just so, you know, the whole system can get filled up. But what I don't want to do is run into a situation where I try to add 2 gallons of coolant and then it overflows because it's already coolant still in the system. And then I'll have more water than coolant. You see what I'm saying? So I want to make it exact. And so what I'm going to do is just add the gallon first. Hopefully that circulates through and we'll see what we get out of that. And then I'll add a gallon of coolant, or maybe I'll just do like a gallon and a half of that. I don't know. But I feel like everything is tightened up. So what we'll do is we'll just do that. We'll just do a gallon of that, then a gallon of that, then a gallon of water, and then another gallon of that. And then we'll just run the car and we'll see where we're at. All right, so with this car, I was only able to put what, like 1 point, it was like exactly whatever this is, 1.32 gallons in here. And this is completely full. I keep trying to burp it, but it's hard to get to the hoses back there. So I've been trying to squeeze that lower secondary radiator hose down there and it's not working. So we're gonna go ahead and try to start it real quick, then turn it off. And that will for sure get the coolant flowing. It started. All right. Now let's go take a look at how everything looked. Oh, wait. I didn't get any warning signals for real. So that was something. I don't see any leaks except for that dye over there. All right. Let's see what's going on now. There we go. Bubbling. You want to do this slowly. Don't just open it up because it's pressurized. It'll shoot back in your face. All right. Bubbled up. It smells like coolant. All right, it went down. None really at all. I guess I gotta let it run for a little bit and actually get heated up. But on another note, the belt seemed fine. I forgot all about that. That was a thing. It took a little minute to get going, but it got going. Let's see if we can see anything down in there. I'm going to have to inspect that myself. I'm going to start the car up and just let it run and then inspect that. But it did get started, so that's a good sign. Other than the carbon smell, it's all good. The belt looked good. The pulleys, everything looked good. It was nice and quiet. I ain't hear anything from there. Another thing that was interesting, that tick was gone. What's that sound? It sound like the compressor. But anyway, yeah, that went well. That first startup seems really smooth. Another thing I noticed that I didn't get to show y'all was that the voltmeter on the dash was exactly at 14. It had never been there since my entire ownership. So that's also good. After running it that last time, it went down substantially. And I was able to put some coolant in there. But I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. So you might notice that I'm transferring this into that. And at one point I transferred some water into that. That was one to be exact because I thought this was a gallon, but notice at the last minute it was 1.32 gallons. I hope I only bought 2 of these, not 3. But it's 1.32 gallons. And so I'm transferring them because I don't want to risk any spillage. Now I ain't mind risking any spillage with the distilled water because I mean it's distilled water. I could have just poured it in that though, to be exact. I didn't even know this was still outside, but I didn't miss any with distilled water. And if I did, I could just go and buy some more distilled water. It's 50 cents, but this ain't 50 cents. It's more like $50. So what I'm doing is pouring that into that because it's easier to do that than pouring it into this, and I don't want to miss and get it all over the place. So you pour it in there, and then you can measure it out that way by doing half water first, and then going and do 1.3 gallons of coolant. You ensure that it's 50-50. What I'm going to do after I do that, because that's going to be over 10 quarts, I measure it out. What is that? It's like almost 11 quarts. What I'm going to do then is, utilizing this clear space here, do this 50-50. I'm going to do half water and then get another bottle of coolant, then pour the coolant into the water. And then I'll have a whole 50-50 jug. And then that way, if I ever need to top off or whatever, I'll just label this 50-50 and I'll just, do it that way. So that's how you do it. All right, so I've put now, maybe I did 1.3 gallons of coolant, 1.3 gallons of water, and I poured in some of that 50-50 mix. And now what I'm going to do, let me turn on a light so you can see that, which is another thing that's interesting. I've never seen these needles light up. Now think about it. When before I changed the alternator, I never saw those light up. But you see, the temperature has actually risen. So I'm going to let it warm up to about 120. I think normal. It's been so long since I drove the car. I think normal operating temperature is like, I want to say 200. I think it's 200. I think it's all the way over there, which looks very discomforting, but I think that's what it is. I'm gonna let it run till it gets to 120 though. Turn it off, And what I did, I didn't overfill it this time. I filled up to the max, so because I don't know how much is inside the engine, and I'm just going to let it go, let it run till it gets there. It warms up pretty quick. The coolant does. The oil, on the other hand, takes forever to warm up. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I'll check it once it cools off, and that'll probably be it for the day. But yeah, the repair seems to have gone well. The only thing, you know, that's of an issue now is the compressor. But I'm sitting in the car now, and it's, I don't know what the temperature is outside, but this AC is blowing ice cold. So, you know, if worst case scenario, it'll need to just be recharged kind of frequently. But yeah, it's blowing ice cold in here. It feels good. So anyway, that's gonna be it, y'all. I'll chime back in when it's time to put the bumper on, but I'm gonna probably film the junkyard as well, see what else they have in there, and we can see what that Phaeton looking like. So I will see you guys tomorrow.